I love painting what I call the beautiful ugly bits of the flower, so the petals that are drying out and past their best. Hi, I'm Marie and this is one of my rose tutorials, and I'm just going to show you here how I build up the colours and textures of the drying out parts of the flower, which I often find are some of the most interesting areas to paint. So this is a process of building up layers of colour and surface pattern to create the shadows and the textures that we can see on the underneath of the flower here. If you'd like to paint the full tutorial, the link for the Watercolour Members Club is below. It's a lot easier than you think to create a realistic looking rose like this when it's broken down into small individual steps. And once you follow these steps, you will soon see how your whole image just naturally starts to emerge from the paper. I find it a very satisfying process. And please remember to like and subscribe if you'd like to be kept up to date with my upcoming tips and technique videos. Here I'm mixing the colours that are already on my palette to create darker ones and also more muted colours, as the lighter colours are in the shadows and therefore not very bright at all. I'm using the very tip of my small brush to add in these little areas of detail, and I'm letting each layer dry before I come back in and add a different colour or layer over the top. And this is so that my colours don't become muddy or run into each other. I want to be able to keep a very distinct definition in the shapes of the surface pattern and the shadow areas as well. So it's important to let each initial layer dry, and then when I come to adding another one on top, I'm very careful not to re-wet the surface too much or spend too long painting the area, as this will begin to disturb the underneath layers that are already down. So you can see here that I'm painting in the shapes that I see on the surface of this dried petal. And then I use a damp brush to just very gently blend the edges so that I'm keeping all of the lines inside of my petal soft. This enables each section to smoothly transition into the next area that I come to paint. I don't want the shapes of the surface pattern to have hard edges. I only like the hard edges to be around the outside of the petals, as this then adds definition to each full petal. And then I continue to slowly build up the layers of pattern and tone until I have reached a depth of colour that I'm happy with and that is in keeping with the image as a whole. And of course, for these underneath petals, it means that they will be darker than the rest of the flower as they are overshadowed by it. So by taking note of this, you can create contrast within your image and therefore a sense of depth. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful for your own artistic process. Enjoy the rest of it, and thanks for watching.